Here's your wrestling news for February 24th, 2026. Your headlines for today include Drew McIntyre not headed for one-on-one, WWE planning multi-man WrestleMania match. When and how Bronson Reed was injured, full details including recovery timeline revealed. Original winner of Triple Threat Elimination Qualifier on Raw revealed. Was Maxxine Dupri legit knocked out on Raw? Is WWE blocking AJ Styles' AEW move with Hall of Fame induction? Who will step up to challenge Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42? Major breakup teased on WWE Raw, and more. Drew McIntyre could be heading into WrestleMania 42 as undisputed WWE champion, but if the latest report holds true, he may not be defending the title in a traditional singles match. Earlier speculation suggested McIntyre might carry the championship through WrestleMania and possibly face Cody Rhodes again on the grand stage. However, a new update from WrestleVotes points to a very different direction. At this point, it's shaping up to be anything but a singles match. The expectation is a 5-pack or even a 6-pack challenge. The report went further, naming potential participants who could be added to the mix. It's wild to think that Aleister Black, Fatu, and Sami Zayn could all be part of the WWE title match at WrestleMania, whether it's a 4-man, 5-man, or even 6-man, but certainly won't be a one-on-one match. If that internal plan holds, WrestleMania 42 could feature one of the most loaded Undisputed WWE Championship matches in recent memory. A multi-man format dramatically shifts the odds, making it far more difficult for McIntyre to walk out still holding the gold, especially with several main event level stars potentially involved. Of course, WrestleMania season is notorious for late creative pivots. Plans can evolve quickly depending on injuries, crowd reactions, and storyline momentum. But as of now, the expectation inside WWE reportedly remains clear. The undisputed WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 42 is not planned as a one-on-one contest. So what's your take? Do you prefer the chaos of a stacked multi-man title match, or should Drew McIntyre defend the championship in a marquee singles showdown? With Elimination Chamber 2025 set for Saturday, WWE needed to finalize the last entrant in the men's chamber match, but no one expected the situation to take such a dramatic turn. Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams had already secured their spot. Raw opened with a triple threat match between Jey Uso, El Grande Americano, and Bronson Reed to determine the final participant. The match carried strong momentum swings and even spilled through a commercial break. Jey and Americano had their moments, but Reed's power presence kept him central to the action. Then, everything changed. During the first commercial break, Reed dove to break up a pinfall attempt and appeared to injure his arm. The referee immediately signaled the X, WWE's sign for a legitimate injury. Ringside officials rushed in, and Reed was removed from the match. With Reed out of the match and medical personnel tending to him at ringside, the finish appeared to shift on the fly. It's likely that officials at the gorilla position quickly relayed instructions to proceed with an audible, resulting in Jey Uso being directed to go over. Jey capitalized on the sudden opening, hit the Uso splash, and secured the victory, officially claiming the final spot in the men's Elimination Chamber match. Following Raw, WrestleVotes reported that the original plan included Reed as the winner. Hope Bronson Reed's okay, he was the planned winner of that match. Later in the broadcast, Michael Cole confirmed that Reed suffered a torn bicep and will be out indefinitely, a devastating setback for the Vision. That wasn't how Reed's WrestleMania season was supposed to unfold, and the timing couldn't be worse. For wrestlers, a completely torn distal biceps tendon generally requires surgery, with a recovery and return to sport timeline of 4 to 6 months, though full high-intensity competition readiness can sometimes take up to 9 to 12 months. Braun Breaker is already sidelined with a hernia injury, and Seth Rollins was previously taken out with his own setback. With Reed now facing a long recovery, fans are beginning to question whether the Vision faction is simply cursed. As it stands, Jey Uso is officially locked into the men's Elimination Chamber match in Chicago, but behind the scenes, WWE's WrestleMania plans may have just undergone a major reshuffle. The big question now is this: how does WWE recover creatively from another major injury, and who steps up in Reed's absence? Prior to the scheduled opening match, Gunther stormed out and interrupted the broadcast team, taking issue with the tribute package that had just aired for AJ Styles. The Ring General made it clear he had no interest in celebrating anyone, especially someone he recently retired. General Manager Adam Pearce quickly stepped in and ordered Gunther out of the arena. Gunther complied, loudly protesting the decision, but before he could fully exit, Dragon Lee attacked him for the second straight week. Officials rushed in to separate the two as chaos unfolded backstage. Moments later, former undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes made his entrance for the advertised opening segment. However, before he could even speak, the Vision, led by Paul Heyman, interrupted. The faction delivered a fairly standard heel promo, which eventually brought out Jey Uso and transitioned into the night's first match. Gunther continues to stand out as one of the few true heels on television. He embraces the heat, leans into hostility, and does not try to soften his edge. In many ways, he feels like a throwback to an era when villains didn't chase careers, they chased boos. That said, the segment ultimately felt like a missed opportunity for Rhodes. While it made sense to feature him in Atlanta, the promo never gained momentum and didn't meaningfully advance the story. For a former world champion in front of a hot crowd, it came across as filler rather than something essential. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. This week's Raw featured another singles clash between Maxxine Dupri and Natalya, and it ended in unsettling fashion. At one point, Natty shoved Maxxine toward the outside, sending her head first into the ring post. Dupri hit hard, dropped flat onto her stomach, and appeared motionless. The referee immediately stepped in, waved off the match, and declared Natalya as the winner. The sudden stoppage drew boos from the crowd, but the broadcast quickly moved forward. Natalya has clearly been leaning into a more aggressive edge in recent weeks, and this incident only reinforced that shift. The match didn't end with a submission or a pinfall, it ended with Dupri seemingly knocked out and officials rushing to assess the situation. At this stage, it remains unclear whether the incident was storyline-driven or legitimate. The heavy presence of WWE officials at ringside could suggest it was part of the show, especially given how it aligns with Natalya's evolving persona. Still, without an official update, there is room for speculation. If this was part of the storyline, it certainly adds intensity to the rivalry and gives Maxxine Dupri a strong reason to demand another opportunity. We'll continue monitoring the situation for updates. If Dupri is cleared and this angle continues, the next chapter between these two could carry much higher stakes. One of the biggest advertised draws for this episode of Monday Night Raw was WWE's tribute to AJ Styles, and it clearly generated significant attention internally as well. Bobby Roode was shown alongside Shinsuke Nakamura, creating a subtle Bullet Club-style reunion moment. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, also appeared on Raw, adding to the nostalgia surrounding Styles' career. Frankie Kazarian was spotted alongside Abyss, marking a rare and notable appearance for Abyss on WWE television in 2026. While this likely served as a one-night tribute appearance tied to Styles, it was still a memorable moment. The appearances did not stop there. Petey Williams and Jeremy Borash were also shown during the broadcast, making the tribute feel expansive and reflective of multiple chapters of Styles' journey. AJ Styles finally made his way to the ring for what he called one final address to the WWE Universe. Styles reflected on the full arc of his career, from his groundbreaking run in total nonstop action alongside Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and Frankie Kazarian, to his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. He also acknowledged the legendary opponents he shared the ring with during his WWE tenure. With his wife and children seated at ringside, the Phenomenal One explained why he didn't leave his gloves in the ring at the Royal Rumble. Instead of symbolically walking away there, he chose to bring them home to Atlanta, a more personal ending to his in-ring journey. As Styles took his final bow, the locker room filled the stage in applause. The arena lights dimmed and The Undertaker made his entrance, standing face-to-face with his WrestleMania 36 opponent one last time. The Phenom then officially announced Styles as an inductee into the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. The moment effectively silenced speculation about any future move elsewhere and firmly cemented Styles' legacy within WWE. The timing feels right, his retirement is still fresh, fan support remains overwhelming, and the farewell speech struck the perfect balance. It was emotional without overstaying its welcome, leaving plenty in the tank for what should be a powerful Hall of Fame address over WrestleMania weekend. The 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner Liv Morgan made her decision official on Raw, and she didn't do it quietly. Flanked by Dominic Mysterio, Morgan hit the ring to announce which champion she would challenge at WrestleMania 42. Dominic stirred the pot first, calling out both Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer and WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill, teasing the possibility of either direction. Morgan then addressed La Primera directly, claiming that WrestleMania wasn't just about championships, it was about telling her story. That's when the tone shifted. In classic heel fashion, Morgan feigned vulnerability before suddenly blasting Vaquer with the microphone. She followed it up with a beatdown and left the champion laid out after delivering Oblivion, making her WrestleMania choice crystal clear. The structure was textbook villain booking: soften the target, create a false sense of emotion, then strike. While it felt fairly obvious that Vaquer was the intended opponent, the execution still generated solid heat and escalated their feud heading into WrestleMania season. As for Cargill, the segment served as a quick cameo. With no visible tension between her and Morgan, it was a straightforward appearance that kept the SmackDown Women's Champion present without complicating her own storyline. Now the focus turns to the biggest stage of them all, and whether Morgan's story ends with the gold around her waist. For the first time since his abrupt elimination at the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar returned to the ring and made his presence felt. The Beast Incarnate marched out alongside Paul Heyman for a rare in-ring promo, immediately shifting the WrestleMania conversation. Heyman reminded fans that WrestleMania features 3 main events, one of which once centered around The Undertaker's undefeated streak. Now he said that spotlight belongs to the man who conquered it, Brock Lesnar. The Advocate then officially unveiled Lesnar's WrestleMania Open Challenge. For full transparency, Heyman revealed Lesnar's remaining dates on the road to WrestleMania. A graphic confirmed that Lesnar will appear on Raw for the final 5 episodes before Mania, beginning March 16th and running through April 13th. Heyman made it clear that all someone has to do is step into Lesnar's face on one of those nights. Still, he doesn't believe anyone will answer the Beast Incarnate's challenge. Lesnar and Heyman left the ring without a single superstar stepping forward. So now the question becomes obvious: who answers? All signs seem to point toward Femi. Is he the right opponent for the Beast at WrestleMania? Speaking of Femi, Raw strongly hinted that Rusev could be next in line, or perhaps his next victim. There's almost no chance WWE allows Femi to take a clean loss right now. He's being positioned as a rising force, and derailing that momentum, especially via pinfall or even a disqualification, wouldn't make much sense at this stage. The Mystery Crate saga has taken another turn. After Adam Pearce originally sent it to SmackDown, Nick Aldis returned the package back to Raw. Rather than continuing the back and forth, Pearce made it clear he's shipping it directly to Chicago for Elimination Chamber. Both general managers will open it together on Saturday. According to some dirt sheet speculation, the crate could contain the podium for an upcoming WWE draft announcement. The idea of both GMs unveiling it jointly certainly supports that theory, especially with WrestleMania season approaching and roster shakeups typically on the horizon. At this stage, however, there have been no concrete clues about what's actually inside. With the crate now set to be revealed at Elimination Chamber, it appears fans won't get answers on Friday. All signs point to Saturday being the moment WWE finally pulls back the curtain. In another featured bout, Javon Evans picked up a decisive win over Kofi Kingston, continuing his steady rise on television. The match took a concerning turn when Evans landed awkwardly on his legs during a moonsault attempt and appeared to tweak his knee. Despite visibly favoring it, the injury was not addressed in the ring, and he pushed through to secure the victory. Evans also shared a notable on-screen moment with Offset, a strong sign of WWE's confidence in the young star's future. Is this the start of a bigger spotlight for the young OG? The final episode of WWE Raw before Elimination Chamber 2026 delivered a major shift within the Judgment Day, just days before Finn Balor challenges CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship in Chicago. Backstage, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and Raquel Rodriguez were in high spirits after Morgan dismantled Stephanie Vaquer and confirmed her WrestleMania direction. The atmosphere changed when Balor entered, notably dressed outside the Judgment Day colors. He told JD McDonough to handle matters on his own, saying that if JD wants him to become world champion, he must allow him to stand alone. Dominic then asked if the group would support him in his upcoming match. McDonough immediately said yes. Balor did not. He reminded Dominic that he never blamed the Judgment Day for his past losses and advised the Intercontinental Champion to take responsibility himself. Balor made it clear he would not be in Dominic's corner. Dom's expression said everything. The segment strongly hinted at a Balor face turn and subtly signaled the group's fracture. If Balor loses to Punk at Elimination Chamber, the tension points toward a potential WrestleMania 42 clash with Dominic, possibly with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Now the focus shifts to Chicago. Does Balor leave as a champion, or is this just the beginning of the end for the Judgment Day? Speaking of Punk, the best in the world stepped into the ring to address the growing tension surrounding Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. With WrestleMania season heating up, Punk wasted no time setting the tone. Echoing Balor's earlier remarks, Punk built his promo around the idea of what if, but he quickly dismissed the concept, stating he does not deal in hypotheticals because they're not rooted in reality. He then shifted focus to Reigns, teasing that when the OTC appears live on Raw next week in Indianapolis, he might greet him with a punch to the face. Punk doubled down on calling himself the best in the world before ending the segment with a sharp mic toss. Interestingly, his criticism of Reigns for limited appearances only fueled louder cheers for the Tribal Chief, a dynamic that could create a very unpredictable atmosphere when they collide at WrestleMania. That said, Finn Balor not even appearing in front of the live audience was a big misstep. The final spot in the women's Elimination Chamber match was decided in a high-stakes triple threat as Io Sky battled Raquel Rodriguez and Kairi Sane. Sky controlled much of the action, showcasing her speed and aerial precision, while Rodriguez countered with raw power, repeatedly flattening both opponents. Sane brought her signature high-risk offense, but the turning point came when Sky connected with an underhook backbreaker and followed with the over-the-moonsault. Rodriguez broke up the pin, shifted the momentum, and ultimately planted Sane with the Tejana Bomb to secure the win. On paper, it felt like Sky's match to lose, however, the booking avoids unnecessary friction between Sky and Rhea Ripley while also keeping distance between Sane and Asuka, who appear destined for a singles clash. Rodriguez now enters the chamber as the division's powerhouse wildcard. With this victory, Raquel Rodriguez could be positioning herself to defeat Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 42 and capture championship gold. If Liv Morgan also follows through by toppling Stephanie Becker on the same stage, the Judgment Day may be headed toward a statement-making night at WrestleMania. All that said, why didn't Ripley or Sane appear alongside their partners? Well, that was Raw this week, guys. Which segment stood out to you the most, and why? Was it the Chamber Qualifier chaos, the shocking injury angle, or something completely different? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.